Hello students, in this session we are going to see regarding the question bank provided by the HSC board. Now the HSC board has provided a question bank from different chapters. So first we will see regarding the chapter number 1, that is reproduction in lower and higher plants. Now you are all familiar with the question paper pattern. Now you know that the question paper shows total 4 sections. Now section A consists of question number 1 and question number 2. Now question number 1 consists of total 10 multiple choice type questions carrying 1 mark each. That means there are total 10 multiple choice questions and their alternatives are given. So you will have to select the correct alternative from the given alternatives. In all, total 4 alternatives are given. Now while writing the answer in the answer sheet, you will have to mention the alphabet of the alternative, as well as you will have to write the answer or the alternative in front of the alphabet. Only alphabet will not be considered. You will have to write the alternative as well as its alphabet. Then the first attempted answer will be considered. That means some students write more than one alternative answer, but only the first written alternative or the answer will be considered. Then question number 2 contains 8 very short answer type questions. That means the answer should be written in one sentence. Now question number 2 contains 8 very short answer type questions carrying 1 mark each. So section A consists of question number 1 and question number 2. Then section B consists of question number 3 to question number 14, and there are total 12 short answer questions. Now each question carries 2 marks and you will have to attempt any 8 questions. So each question will carry 2 marks. Then section C consists of question number 15 to question number 26, and total 12 short answer questions are given, and each question carries 3 mark each. So you will have to attempt 8 questions of the total 12 questions. Then section D consists of total 5 questions, that is from question number 27 to question number 31, and each question will carry 4 marks, but you will have to attempt any 3 questions and they will be for 4 marks. So the question paper is divided into total 4 sections, that is section A, B, C and D. Similarly, you should draw well labeled diagrams wherever they are required. Now, first of all, we are going to see regarding the multiple choice questions from this chapter, that is chapter number 1, reproduction in lower and higher plants. Now first we will see regarding the multiple choice questions given in this chapter, that is reproduction in lower and higher plants. Now the first multiple choice question is regarding the pollen grain, that is the outer layer of pollen grain is thick and made up of a complex non-biodegradable substance. Now non-biodegradable substance means the substance which do not undergo chemical as well as biological decomposition, or it is unaffected by chemical as well as biological substances. So such substance is called as non-biodegradable, and the alternatives given are, the first one is lignin, then cellulose, pectin, and the correct answer is sporopollenin. So sporopollenin is the non-biodegradable substance which is present in the outer layer. Now outer layer of pollen grain is called as exine. So you know that the pollen grain consists of two layers, that is outer thick and rough exine while inner thin and delicate intine. So this non-biodegradable substance, that is sporopollenin, is present in the outer layer, that is exine. Then second multiple choice question is sporoderm is made up of, the alternatives given are A is exosporium and endosporium, then B outer integuments and inner integument, C testa and tegment, and D is the correct answer, that is exine and intine. Now you know that pollen grain is produced inside the anther of the flower, and this pollen grain produces male gametes. So this pollen grain shows a protective covering. It is called as sporoderm, and this sporoderm is made up of two layers, that is exine and intine. So correct alternative is exine and intine. Then the third multiple choice question is the number of meiotic and mitotic divisions necessary for development of female gametophyte in angiosperm is. Now the alternatives given are A is 1 meiosis and 2 mitosis, then B 1 mitosis and 3 meiosis, C 1 meiosis and 1 mitosis, and the correct answer is the D alternative, that is 1 meiosis and 3 mitosis. Now you know that the female gametophyte in angiosperm develops inside the ovule. That means one of the cells of nucellus functions as a megaspore mother cell which is diploid, and this megaspore mother cell undergoes meiosis and it will produce 4 haploid megaspores. So here we see the meiotic division, that means one meiosis or one meiotic division is carried to produce 4 haploid megaspores. Now out of these 4 haploid megaspores, the basal one, which is present at the chalazal end, becomes functional and its nucleus undergoes three successive free nuclear divisions. That means in first nuclear division, two nuclei are produced. In second, total four nuclei are produced. And in the third, total eight nuclei are produced. And these eight nuclei get organized to form or to produce seven cells and eight nuclei. So this seven celled and eight nucleated stage is called as female gametophyte of angiosperm, and it is produced inside the nucellus. So number of divisions are, that is, one meiosis and three mitosis or mitotic divisions are necessary for the development of female gametophyte in angiosperms. Then the fourth multiple choice question is, identify the odd one with respect to pollinating agent. Now you know that there are different pollinating agents. They may be abiotic or they may be biotic. Now the alternatives given are, the first one is baobab tree, then second one is bottle brush, which is the correct alternative, or the answer is B. Then C is kadam tree and D is sausage plant or tree. Now bottle brush is the odd one, as bottle brush is pollinated by birds, while the remaining three, that is baobab, then kadam and sausage, are pollinated by bat. Hence the odd one is bottle brush. Then the next one is in vitro pollen germination and pollen tube elongation can be induced by the use of boric acid. Then B is glucose, C option is lactose, and D is sucrose, which is the correct option. So you know that after pollination, the pollen grains are transferred to the surface of the stigma of the gynoecium, and this stigma secretes sugary substance which are used by the pollen grain for its germination and formation of pollen tube. So as the substance which is produced on the surface of the stigma is sucrose, when artificially we provide this sucrose to the pollen grains, then we can get, or we can carry, in vitro pollen germination and pollen tube elongation artificially. Then the next one is self incompatibility is found in the flowers of plants. Now self incompatibility is the phenomenon in which, in certain cases, sometimes the pollen grains from the anther in the same flower may be pollinated to its stigma, or they may be transferred to the stigma of its own flower. Then in such cases, the pollen grains do not germinate, or they are prevented from germinating. This phenomenon is called as self-incompatibility. So self-incompatibility helps to prevent the germination of pollen grain within the same flower, and this phenomenon is found in the flower of thea. So the different options given, that is calotropis, maize, thea and gloriosa, the correct option is thea flower. Then the next MCQ is orogamy refers to the entry of pollen tube through. Now you know that after pollen germination, the pollen tube passes through the style, then it reaches to the ovule and enters inside the ovule from different regions. Sometimes it may enter through the integuments, or it may enter through the chaliza, or when it enters through the micropyle or the opening of the ovule. This phenomenon is called as porogamy. So, porogamy refers to the entry of pollen tube through the micropyle. Hence, micropyle is the correct option. And the D option is given stigma. So out of these four, the correct option is C, that is micropyle. Then the next one is dash is an example of halobial endosperm. Now you know that endosperm in the seed is produced from triploid primary endosperm nucleus, which is the product of second fertilization. And in plants or in seeds, three different types of endosperms are found. These are halobial, then nuclear endosperm, and cellular endosperm. So, this halobial endosperm is found in the seeds of Asphophothides. Now, the options given are first one is Adoxa, then second one is coconut, then the third, that is C, is the correct option, that is asphodylus, and D is given sunflower. So alluvial type of endosperm is found in asphodylus. Then the next one is the single shield shaped cotyledon in monocot seed is known as, and the options given are A. Coleptile, B. Scutellum, C. Alluvion layer, and D. Perisperm. And the correct option is B. Scutellum. Now you know that monocot seed means the seeds which show presence of only one cotyledon, and you know that the common examples are like maize, then bajra. So these are the monocot plants, and these monocot plants show presence of one cotyledon, and this cotyledon is a single and shield shaped structure, and it is called as scutellum. So scutellum is the correct option, which is the term given to the single shield shaped cotyledon. Then the last MCQ is the example of dicot endospermic seed is dash. The options given are A. Castor, then B. Pea, C. Mango, and D. Bean. And the correct alternative is castor. Now you know that endospermic seeds are those which show presence of endosperm even after maturity. Now you know that endosperm is a nutritive tissue which provides nourishment or nutrients to the developing embryo. In some seeds, the embryo utilizes the total endosperm, and on maturity, such seeds show absence of endosperm and are called as non-endospermic seeds. While in some seeds, some amount of endosperm remain as it is, even after the maturity of embryo. In such cases, the seeds are called as endospermic seed. And you know that castor, in Marathi it is called as एरंड. तर कॅस्टर किंवा एरंडामध्ये जर बघितलं आपण तर दोन कॉटिलेडॉन्स प्रेझेंट आहे आणि त्याचबरोबर या सीडमध्ये एंडोस्पर्म देखील प्रेझेंट आहे. म्हणून कॅस्टर हे त्याचं डायकॉट एंडोस्पर्मिक सीडचं एक्झाम्पल आहे. So here we have seen regarding the different multiple choice questions from the chapter number 1, that is reproduction in lower and higher plants. Now remaining questions we will see in our next session.